Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Sports Central. I'm Neal, Duncan. We got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to talk about a great event coming up at the Visitor Information Center, as well as a great event coming for water ski and the outdoor professional soccer season. That's right, Tropics are in the house. Stick around, everybody, for this week's edition of Sports Central. Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. I'm Neal Duncan, and alongside Mr. Hank Longo.
Hello, everybody. Hey, it's great to be back on the show again.
It's great.
It's been a couple of shows I haven't been on, but here we are live again, and I love it.
We were joking about my single use of the word great in the open, but we're excited about this edition of Sports Central. Of course, this first segment brought to us by the Hilton Garden Inn in Lakeland, a great partner out there at the airport. Mm-hmm. Of course, they continue to be really busy out there, and some exciting news coming down the runway, if you will, in the near future. But some great opportunities. Gene Conrad, he does a great job out there. But it's summertime. The last day of school was yesterday.
Yeah, and kids are packing Legoland. I've been out there every morning for a couple of weeks, just checking on what the folks are doing, and it's just amazing how many kids come in, and they're all so excited. I mean, you watch them come in the park, and if you want to see excitement and happiness, these young kids just exclude it. They're just all jumping around, screaming, can't wait to get in the park. So it's still doing extremely well, which is great to see.
Yeah, well, our first guest is the manager of the Visitor Information Center. That's 1/2 mile south of I-4 and Highway 27, Polk County's official welcome center, and we want to welcome to the program Justin LaFerriere. And Justin, welcome to Sports Central, and I know you're excited as we flip the calendar or start to into June. You guys have an exciting event coming up.
Absolutely. I don't want to feel left out, so I want to tell you guys it's great to be here today, so I appreciate it. But yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to, like you said, the calendar flipping over. Summer's here. Like you mentioned, the kids are out of school. We want that excitement that they're showing out at Lakeland, Florida to come up and visit us at the Visitor Information Center for our annual Celebrate Summer event going on next Saturday, June 2nd, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We've got a fun-filled event planned for them.
And what are you doing to amp this up? What are the folks going to get to do when they get there? Because I know you get hundreds of people coming to these events, so it's a good time every time you put one on.
Yeah, so this event is just how it's named. It's the time for everybody, visitors and residents alike, to come out and celebrate that summer is here. We want people to be excited about the many opportunities they have in Central Florida's Polk County to enjoy the summer. So that's really what we're showcasing. We've got a lot of our main attractions coming out: Legoland Florida Resort, Bach Tower Gardens, Safari Wilderness Ranch, a couple of museums. An airboat tour is going to come out as well and showcase their airboat. So we really want to get everybody that's coming out for the event excited about the opportunities that are available to them throughout the summer.
That's a great time to go for an airboat ride.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. It's a thing now. It's a thing now.
Pitch counter
today.
Well, and if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the Visitor Information Center and their Celebrate Summer event, and you may think, what's the correlation between a Visitor Information Center and a sports show, talking about sports and special events in Polk County? But there truly is a connection, because as tourism and sports marketing is charged in bringing sports and special events as well as leisure travelers into Polk County, this is a conversion center. This is an opportunity. We'll talk about the event in a second, but this is an opportunity to get information, to educate not only folks coming in for the events, but also our local residents. Talk about that just a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with it being a conversion center, but people often think of a Visitor Information Center only catering to the leisure traveler, but there's so much more in Polk County, especially on the sports side. When the participants, the spectators, their families come in, they want to have a good time while they're in the county. So that's our job up at the Visitor Information Center, is to make sure while they're in Central Florida's Polk County they have a great time, whether that be if they're here for a sporting event, or if they're here on vacation, or if they're here for a business conference, or whatever the case may be. We want to make sure that not only when they visit our facility that we put forward a first-rate impression of our facility, but of the county as a whole, because when they're out and about, if they're having a good time, they're spending more money. And if they're spending more money, it's good news for everybody that's involved. So that's our task up there at the Visitor Information Center, is to not only get people through the doors, but when they're there, inspire, inform, and influence them to become Polk County customers, put heads in beds, and to make cash registers ring. I mean, that's our vision and our main focus is to turn them into Polk County customers.
I just realized something as I'm sitting here. I'm the only person at this desk that hasn't run the Visitor Information Center. Of course, Hank was part of the construction process and did a great job in getting that project going and the foundation laid. And then Justin came along when Hank semi-retired, at least from that position. So I obviously have a great insight from both of you of what it's like to be on the front line getting that information, because people just don't understand, even residents of Polk County, how much there is to see and do. And I'd like to hear from both of you actually as to what that's like.
Well, you know, you hit a good point there, and that is there's people in the county that come and don't realize everything that we have to offer in Polk County. And I think it, you know, besides what's outside with the airboats and our attractions, you know, the arts we've got, the museums, we have fantastic art here in the county. We have fantastic theater here in the county, and those are other things that, you know, you can turn people onto that just really, you know, don't know about that. And with all the information that is available there at the Visitor Center, it's just a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, and to that point, Justin, I'm assuming that's why special events like this are important to every few months. Hey, don't forget about us. Hey, if you haven't been here, we invite you, but if you have, there's new information. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, let me jump in on that a little bit too, because when you have an event like this and you're inviting people from the surrounding area, because we get hundreds of people that come to these events, and you get a lot of people that are just your neighbors, they're learning stuff that they didn't know about, and they learn it, and then when they have people come to visit, you know, they've got something to show to them, and so yeah, they become an ambassador for you as well.
Absolutely. Going back to your original point with Hank running the show, so to speak, originally, he did a real credit to him in making the Visitor Information Center a destination in itself. So it's not your typical brochure, wall-to-wall person behind a desk, and that's it. It's really an experience in itself to come up there and visit myself, my team, and all the attraction that there is at the Visitor Information Center. So you're going to really get inspired by what Polk County has to offer. But being that we're so centrally located and so close to the two big metropolises as they are in Orlando and Tampa, people don't really know what we have because they're so ingrained with what Orlando and Tampa have, and that's the Visitor Information Center is our real opportunity to showcase what is available in our county. And Hank mentioned the arts and culture side of things. There's been a real big push for locally produced food. There's a great food scene in some of our big municipalities now as well. You can't forget water. I mean, the water opportunity that we have in terms of fishing, water skiing, the water sports is phenomenal, and it's second to none in this area, or even in the country, besides maybe Wisconsin or Minnesota. So we've really got some never before seen stuff that we love to showcase up at the Visitor Information Center to get people excited about visiting Polk County.
Well, as we talk about Celebrate Summer, again, Saturday, June 2nd, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The price tag's always good.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. If visitors want to come out on June 12th, we're more than happy to talk to them then as well. But June 2nd is the event, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Well, that's correct.
It is a free, family-friendly event for anybody and everybody to come out, but it is a great opportunity for residents to come out. 26% of our visitors that come into the area are staying with friends and family, so this is an excellent opportunity for those friends and family to get a better understanding of the services we offer at the Visitor Information Center. But I can't say enough about the great buy one, get one ticket offer that we have at the event for Lakeland Florida Resort in Bartow.
Yeah, they line up early in the morning for that.
10 a.m. event, they're there at 8 a.m. when we open the door, waiting to get there. So I want to stress that it is for the first 150 tickets sold. So it is while supplies last.
So it's almost like a Black Friday type event where people are lining
up. Yeah, and
up.
I think it's important that you state exactly that, is that it's for the first 150 people, you know, and
151, you're out of luck.
Sorry, should have got there a little earlier, unfortunately.
You know, and it can be tough when everybody's lining up to get there. But you know, you have that opportunity for people to get the tickets, but you know, you've got fun things for the kids to do as well.
Absolutely, there's going to be bounce houses, games, prizes, giveaways, food vendors. We're going to have our mascot floating around with Vic the Gators, our mascot. He'll be floating around taking pictures with visitors as well. So there's going to be a lot of great opportunity. Safari Wilderness most likely will be bringing out one of their animals to showcase. Exactly. We're going to have, like I said, an airboat tour. You can get on the airboat and take pictures. We'll have a local fishing guide out there as well. So there's going to be a lot of great opportunity to have some fun at a free, family-friendly event.
Well, and there's an education component to it as well. I mean, we talk about the adults and maybe not knowing what there is to see and do in Polk County, but
Sure.
There's so many neat educational opportunities you can learn about that are all over the county. You know, you go here to Bartow to the Historical Museum, and you got the Genealogical Library, you got the mulberry phosphate. I mean, you can learn so much history.
Circle B.
Oh yeah,
And
well,
I mean,
not even to mention the nature side of
the
things.
nature side of it with the educational center that they've got at Circle B, which is a really neat learning experience. And once again, you haven't, until you've been to Circle B, you really don't know what old Florida is really all about, and you know what it was like when settlers first started to come here, and what the wilderness is like.
I know when we've been in meetings together and you've given presentations, I think it's important to mention here as well that though the visitor services is operated out of the Visitor Information Center at I-427, it is a county-wide initiative. Real quick before we have to go to break, talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. The visitor services is just that. It's not the visitor center department for a reason. We're the visitor services department because we're much more than just that facility at I-427. We make an effort to affect the visitor experience in a positive way throughout the county by training our frontline industry personnel to better assist their guests, providing our resources in terms of collateral at over 100 different locations throughout the county, so visitors have the better opportunity to get that information into their hands and become more knowledgeable about the different things to see and do within Polk County.
All right. Well, Justin, thank you so much. Again, the event is Saturday, June 2nd.
That's right.
From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. But if they want more information about this event or just other activities going, where can they go to? What website?
Visit us at visitcentralflorida.org on the events listing. All the information's right there, or you can give us a shout out at the Visitor Information Center.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, one of the groups that might be using the Visitor Information Center when they come in for their events is the Independent Sports Association. Of course, for a long time, it was the Independent Softball Association, and they run a number of events out of Polk County. We're going to take a look at some recent action that they had. Hank and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central. Play ball!
Shake it off, let's go play hard. Ryan Pickles had an idea, and I think Mark Zimmerman was involved, that we do what they called a festival type tournament, where we would have a day in the tournament where it'd just be fun. And yesterday was that day.
It's been awesome, man. They've treated us well. I think it's their inaugural kind of ISA, kind of World Series deal. Had a bunch of events for the girls.
And we had running and throwing contests, hitting contests. We had all-star games, and we just had a fun day. And we also, that day was scheduled for a pool party in the evening with music.
Lexi Moore got second place, and Peyton Applewhite got third place. And we got second place in the throwing competition. So the girls are playing well and doing very well.
I play for the Fort Meade Phantom, and we're doing amazing today on this lovely sunny day.
Have you guys won your games yet?
No, but this next one, we have it in the bag. We're gonna go all out.
We're playing an 18 and under league, and all our girls are 15 and under. So to compete at 18 and under, we're doing very well, and we're a new team. We have quite a few local teams. We have the Avengers, a high school team out of Winter Haven, the Owls from down in Sebring. We have the Florida Gold in the 1400 division. And then we have teams like from St. Pete.
We're from Lakeland, Florida. We've got to play over here a few times with a couple different organizations. It's a great complex. They keep care of it. They keep all the fields in great shape.
We've had World Series here, national events. It's just a great complex, great field. Me personally, I like it because as a director, I can go upstairs in the air conditioning from time to time. It's a good tournament. It's a good tournament, and we hope to build upon this, like we'll call it the summer festival. Let's have some serious fun, and then let's have some serious softball.
What's next is just get better. Just get better. Let the girls progress. Let them, my ultimate goal is to get them to the next level. And I'm hoping I'm doing that for them. So far, they've been performing outstanding. They're doing great. Everything I accomplish out here is because of them. I don't make one throw, I don't make one hit, I don't make one field. They do it all. I attribute everything to my girls, all of it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal, Duncan alongside Hank Longo, and some great footage there. Of course, baseball and softball for many years were the bread and butter of events coming into Polk County, and of course water ski events, which we're going to talk about our next event.
A little later.
Our next segment, excuse me, but right now, soccer. We're going to talk about soccer, and with
Soccer's gotten huge.
Well, with the recruitment of the Florida Youth Soccer Association, state headquarters to Polk County, and so many other things, there's a lot of great things going, and
Yep.
we really like to say that Polk County is the epicenter of youth soccer in the state of Florida. But anyways, I'm getting long-winded, but we do want to remember our friends in bowling. Cypress Lanes, this segment sponsor, segment number 2. And before we start talking about a bunch of soccer things, why don't we just go straight to our guest who knows a ton about
I think
soccer.
we should. From the Tropics.
Andrew Ross.
How do you do, Andrew?
Good. Thank you guys for having me.
Welcome to the show, and we want to make sure that we have this correct, not just for us because it's on our paper. We know we have it correct, and we deal with you guys, but this is the outdoor season of the Tropics, and that is the Lakeland Tropics.
Correct, yes.
It's the Florida Tropics
Florida
indoor,
on the indoor,
Lakeland outdoor.
Lakeland on the outdoor.
Tell us the difference.
So when we first put the team here, there was no other professional indoor soccer team in the Southeast. Obviously, Orlando has just gotten a franchise, but we will still stay with the Florida name. So we didn't want to really segregate ourselves and not draw from the Orlando or the Tampa market, and in terms of getting our attendance numbers. So we originally went with the Florida Tropics. Then when we went outdoor, they said, well, there's tons of other outdoor soccer teams that are at our level. You can't just call yourself Florida. We would prefer you guys call yourself, the city that you're from. And we said, well, hey, we're in Lakeland, so that's what we want to try to brand, and that's fit in well now with obviously the youth club with Lakeland Football Club now becoming Lakeland Tropics Football Club. It's helped out, but what's nice is because we also have a youth club in Pinellas County. Florida Tropics Soccer Club is kind of our umbrella, so that's everything is underneath that. And then you have the Lakeland Tropics, you have the Florida Tropics Women's, which is a new team that will kick off on June 10th at Bryant Stadium. And then you have obviously the indoor side and then the 2 youth clubs. So we've grown, I think even since we last spoke, we have 5 entities under our umbrella now. We're in talks with a couple other youth clubs about coming on board. So it's just been tremendous growth and been really exciting.
Well, talk about why that's important to reach out, to increase the space under the umbrella, if you will, just from a branding perspective.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, a huge part of that is branding. So all those kids are wearing Tropic shirts, they're walking into our sponsors, they're hanging out in the community, going with their friends, people are seeing it, and that's so important when you're trying to grow a sports organization. But it also helps from a player pool standpoint. You never know if you're going to find that diamond in the rough who's going to eventually go and be the next, big professional name. So for us to be able to not only have a good pro side, and that's important too, and we'll get players from all over the world still, but we want to be able to try to figure out how can we get that perfect method to homegrown players right here, where we can say, hey, maybe a kid from Lakeland's playing in the English Premier League or playing in Major League Soccer, the national team. So both sides of it are important, the branding, but also obviously the development side of it's very important as well.
Does it help the kids that are playing being in an organization where pros are playing, that they can, you know, learn from them and watch them and pick up on that, you know, that energy and that aura that comes with being a professional player, because that's grown with you, you know, over the years, and and just pick up on just little things from them in general.
Yeah, so our pro guys who live here year round now, they actually are coaching in the youth club. So that is one of the biggest parts of our organization, is that you do have that clear path where you could play with us at 5 years old and play with us at 25 years old when you're playing on the professional team. So that's so important for keeping kids in Lakeland, because a lot of what we found is kids were leaving Lakeland to go and train in Tampa and Orlando. Why? They have professional clubs there. So now that we have a professional club here, we actually saw in our tryout this past weekend a huge influx of players that came back that are now wanting to play for our club, because we signed 4 kids from the youth club to the PDL team this year. So they're training, they haven't seen, you know, field time yet, but our hope is that we can get them in, you know, when they're 17, 18 years old to train at that level.
They're
and
scrimmaging with the pros?
Exactly, yep. So then as soon as they hit 19, 20, when their mentality is probably up to that par, they're field ready. It's not that we're a year behind or you have to then train them. So yeah, we've definitely seen players come back, and like I said, the pro guys are coaching in the youth club, and we're just trying to really, you know, kind of combine everything so that the kids see. But even the kids who are on the rec program, we still have the players do appearances, do clinics, you know, stuff like that, where it's a little less, more relaxed, but it's still fun for the kids.
Fantastic.
I know when I do the radio version of Sports Central, you know, I always kind of end it with all the, you know, all the events coming up in Polk County, and it's like, why aren't you here? It's an exciting time in Polk County, and if you sit here and think about it, you talk about, we have professional soccer, professional baseball, professional basketball. We have the Olympic governing body of water ski here. We have the Florida Youth Soccer State Association for Youth. I mean, and I could go on and on.
Okay.
All the things are, you know, what's the old stuff about the rising tide lifting all boats? I mean, for you as an organization, with everything else that's going on in Polk County, it's got to be exciting to see your brand grow in this area.
Oh, it is. And I mean, that's, you know, and it's good, I think, getting more people to understand that they can stay here and see professional sports. You don't have to drive all the way to Orlando or Tampa, because everyone has limited dollars that they can spend on entertainment. It's a luxury. So to get them to keep it at least here, whether it's going to our game, a Tigers game, a Magic game, we're happy that they're spending their money on sports and getting acclimated to understand that they can stay here to see a professional sports team. And it's also, like you said, with the growth of just the county in general. I mean, that's why we're here. You know, we're here for seeing what this place is going to be like 5 to 10 years from now, where we can be selling out a stadium with 5 to 10,000 people, and continue to grow our brand and continue to try to play at the higher level of whatever sanctioning that we can meet.
And how does the game outside differ from the game inside?
It's more your traditional game. So there's people who like both. I have some people who will just go to the indoor, which is more like hockey. It's fast-paced, it's high scoring. You know, it's going to be keep you on.
It's not a big a field.
It's a smaller field. Okay. Yep. So it's a smaller field by about 20 yards in terms of length, and then about almost 30 yards in width. So it's a much smaller field on the indoor side. Our indoor side is the highest level of professional indoor soccer in the country. It's the Major Arena Soccer League. So that is the higher level than our outdoor level. You know, outdoor, obviously Major League Soccer is the highest level. So, but outdoor is unique and it's traditional. And you have a lot of people here. We've actually found a lot of Hispanics and Brits who are local are going to the outdoor games. They're buying tickets, buying season tickets, and even some of their companies sponsoring the teams. So we think there is some of those people who prefer just being able to go. Also with the outdoor, you know, as a family, you're in and out in 2 hours. You know, you're in there, you know, and you're out in 2 hours. So for kids whose attention spans, you know, sometimes a 3 or 4 hour game is too long for them. We got the bounce houses, you know, we have little mini soccer fields set up. We have face painting, a clown, you know, we try to make it where it's an event. It's not just a game. And it's easier to do that with the outdoor when we have a little bit more space.
Sure.
But obviously for the mom and dad who may be interested more in just the game, they can watch the game while their kids go and play.
Well, you're 2 games into your outdoor season in the Premier Development League, PDL, leading the Southeast Division, but I think I heard that you guys are, ranked 3rd overall in the country right now?
Yep, we are.
So
3rd
not only is it fun and an entertainment value, oh, by the way, they're good.
Yeah. No, we've worked very, very hard in the off season to bring in some of the top Division I, not only athletes but graduates who are looking to make that next step. So they might come and play for us to try to get scouted by an Orlando City or a Tampa Bay Rowdies. But yeah, we have a great team put together. The chemistry is really good in the locker room, and that's just so important. But yeah, as of right now, we just had a huge win over Miami, who beat us twice last season, knocked us out of the playoffs. So.
And you guys didn't even score against them last
nope,
season, right?
Didn't even score against them last season.
So put 3 goals against them this last time?
Yep. So we have, I think the team, we brought our core guys back and then built around them with some of the needs that we had. We have these 2 guys, we call them Caio and Fernando. They're 2 Brazilian guys who we brought in from Oklahoma City Energy. They've been tremendous on the field in terms of just really providing a need that we had. And obviously Ricardo Dieguez making sure that he gets the job done with the goals and the assists up top.
Yeah.
And where are your team members from?
We love Brazil, I guess you could say. We recruit very, very heavily in Brazil. And I would say the United Kingdom is probably where we've kind of meshed. And then we have some local homegrown guys here too. The PDL requires you to dress, I think, at least like 8 American players. You can only dress 10 internationals. So we do make sure that we have that American base and that international base that can kind of blend together. But we partner up with some of the schools too. We have a couple University of Maryland boys who are going to debut this weekend. Top Division I athletes who we're really excited to have them join us. USF, Florida Gulf Coast, their goalkeeper is our starting goalkeeper right now this season. So we try to find those Division I programs and get those athletes in and then build around them with some of the more senior professional guys.
Well, we're coming live to you on May 25th, but the 27th is the next home game at Bryant Stadium. Kind of a kickoff to the Memorial Day weekend. That's a 7 o'clock start. And then June 2nd and June 16th, 23rd, and 30th. So getting through now through June, home games. What's the cost of admission? We've already mentioned it's at Bryant Stadium. Just tell us kind of the ins and outs if you're a fan going to Bryant Stadium.
Yeah, so we start tickets at $5. We want to make sure that everyone can afford to go to our games. So you can sit on the east sideline for $5 or the west sideline for $10. Season tickets start at $35 if you call the office. So I mean, we really wanted to make this something that's, there are a lot of free events in Lakeland. So sometimes we do end up competing with those. Mm-hmm. We want to show people, hey, it's worth paying $5-10 to come and see this because the level of entertainment and the product that's not only on the field, but like I said, all the other things that are going around the game day are worth spending your hard-earned dollars on that. So we try to make it very, very affordable, and obviously we have a lot of games stacked up. So if you can't make it one weekend, the chances are there's probably a game the next weekend or the weekend following. So lots of exciting things that we'll have for the remainder of the summer here.
Well, real quick before we go to break, give us a website one more time and where they can get tickets. Yeah,
the website, so we have a new website. It's tropicssoccer.com. You can also go on the sidebar is lakelandtropics.com, but we're trying to push everyone to the tropicssoccer.com. Call our office, which is 863-240-0101. And we always try to, tell people, make sure you go through us so then you don't have to worry about, any sort of counterfeit tickets or anything. Go through our office because we do control everything at Bryant Stadium. So the box office is everything is straight through our office.
All right. Well, Andrew, thank you so much, and we'll have to have you back on, and hopefully it'll be after a championship run or during the championship run.
That's the goal.
All right. Well, we talked about it earlier. The Florida Youth Soccer Association state headquarters are right here in Polk County, in Auburndale at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park. Recently, they had their U19 championships, and so we're going to take a look at that. Hank and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central.
Pensacola to Jacksonville to Fort Myers to Miami, everywhere throughout the state of Florida. The winners here end up advancing to what we call our Region 3 championships, and those basically that championship event will take place in Baton Rouge, Louisiana this year. They'll play teams from Texas, North Carolina, Tennessee, all around the southeast and I guess portion of the southern portion of the United States. State Cup is essentially a 2 or 3 month long tournament. It takes up about 500 teams from around the state. They're youth teams from the ages of U13 all the way up to U19. Now the U13s through 18s finished up last weekend. U19s will finish up this weekend. So it's a little bit more of an even keel event for us. But it's definitely a great atmosphere. We've coupled it along with the Disney Memorial Day Showcase. So we've got a great event going on here. The State Cup, it brings the best competition from around the state, the best players, the best teams, to see who the best team is in the state. With the U19, so it's a little more special, simply because those U19 players, these are the kids who love the game of soccer, and maybe the parents aren't so much supportive. These are the guys who, over the last 10, 15 years of their development, have acquired a love for the game of soccer that's going to continue with them for the rest of their lives. Providing an avenue for kids to play soccer, to enjoy the game, to develop a love for the game, that will continue for the rest of their life. So it's definitely a great thing to see these players come out here, and whether in victory or in defeat, it's a game to them, and that's what it's all about here. These are the guys where you'll see them playing, whether it be as an adult rec or in college or even professionally and beyond. And it's a blessing to see, and obviously at the end of it, a great last hurrah for those teams who've stuck together for the past 6 years. So for more information, whether you're looking up, trying to find a new club to get involved with, a league, our State Cup information, along with the Florida State Premier League, that information can all be found at FYSA.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo, and some great footage there from the U19 girls event at Lake Myrtle. This third segment brought to us by Hall Communications, of course a great partner of tourism and sports marketing. You look at their radio stations, WONN, Talk 96.7 and Talk 1430, Max 98.3 and 97.5. They really give us an opportunity to promote what we're doing here in Polk County, and we appreciate them.
Yep, we sure do. I've got to hang out with the guys at the Max, and fun. Eric and Mike.
Eric and Mike?
Oh yeah, good guys.
Eric and I have a long-running feud, but we won't get into that here.
Okay, well, moving right along.
I'm going to let you introduce our next guest.
Our third segment is brought to us by Hall Communications, and at this time I have the honor and pleasure of introducing our third guest, Lauren St. Ange.
Thank you for having me.
It's a delight to have you here from the World Barefoot Center, and you're hosting the 41st National Barefoot Water Ski Championships, and big event coming up.
It is. We're really excited just to have it at Lake Roo. It's the second time it's been there, and hopefully it's easier and better this time.
Well, once you do it there, actually, and you kind of get things figured out, I'm sure it's going to be smooth sailing.
Yes. Yes.
So you've got barefooters coming from where? All over the United States?
Yes, everywhere. We even get some from out of the country. We have Australia, New Zealand, England, and then we get them from the East Coast, West Coast, South, North, everywhere. Majority of our skiers probably come from the Midwest, though.
So July 26th through 29th, Lake Roo in Polk City, and talk about what it's like to have events in Polk County, because we've long been known as the water ski capital of the world, and talk about what it's like to bring an event into Polk County, and maybe what makes Polk County unique.
From the water ski side, I mean, it's amazing, especially because of Cypress Gardens, so it's kind of like exciting. People are like, oh, that's where Cypress Gardens used to be, and they still have the show at Legoland, so everyone loves that aspect of it, because we are all water skiers, and people intermingle with different divisions of water skiing, not just the barefooting side. So like on a day off, or if we get done skiing early at the tournament, they move on and go to, different things in the county.
Great.
Some things to do, and it's I have to say, getting to be at the national championships last year and watch the Barefooters, until you've gone there and watched them, it's unbelievable. When you get, not only is it fun watching them slalom, but when you get into the tricking, it's amazing to see what they actually do on the water on their bare feet, going 42 to what, 45 miles an hour right in there, and it's just unbelievable. And is it Jackson Gerard? Do I have that right?
Yes.
He's what, like 15 years old now?
Yes, he is.
Just started barefooting a few years ago and one of the best in the world. Your husband Keith is a multi-time world champion and world record holder. And then we have David Small, his buddy that those two train together at the World Barefoot Center. He's a world champion and record holder. So not only are they going to be able to come and watch, you know, the best skiers in the country, but they get to watch the best barefooters in the world.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing just how everyone works together in the sport of barefooting. You know, they're all top competitors for all the titles, and they still train each other and work with each other in the same boat, which is a small atmosphere to train in.
And it's amazing that they train together, because you get into, and I think that actually happens with a lot of the disciplines in the sport, because, like, you know, in my 3-event world, a lot of the jumpers jump together. You know, they'll train together. I think some of them might separate themselves so they don't get on all their good secrets, you know, to beat them. That's what you're up against when you ski together. Oh, I just picked up on that, and I didn't know that trade secret of yours, which can be a little bit of a disadvantage. But it's a big family when you go to these events. I have to say, last year at the Nationals, being there, everybody chips in, everybody helps, and everybody has fun. At the end of the night, when you got to break down all the tables and chairs, everybody sticks around and chips in and does that. It just goes to show what great camaraderie there is throughout the whole sport.
Well, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the 41st Annual Barefoot Water Ski National Championships. It's going to be in Polk County, July 26th through the 29th in Polk City at Lake Grew. Talk to us a little bit. Is this open to the public? Is there an admission? And what will they see when they come?
So it's a 100% free event. Anyone can come out anytime. We run from 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning till probably 4 o'clock in the evening. We have food on site. If you come, you're going to see lots of, you'll see barefoot slalom, barefoot tricks, and barefoot jump. All different, but everything done on the bare feet. So you see someone slaloming, they're going to go back and forth in 15 seconds. The boat's flying by, so it's kind of exciting. Tricks, you know, they'll be turning on the water, and then jump, it'll be right in front of you. You can stand.
I got to stop you right there. I'm not a water ski person. I'm not a water skier. What are we? I understand barefoot, and obviously they're skiing on their feet, but what are they jumping? Like, to me, I see a ramp.
Well, here, let me show you. You can kind of get a picture of this on the desk. This is what the jump looks like, and it's not as big as a water ski jump is. It's probably about, what, 4 foot wide, something like that.
Yeah, about 4 feet wide, and I think it's about 18 inches high.
18 inches high.
And they're going across
and
this barefoot.
And it's got a smooth surface on it so that you can slide, and it's, you know, it's wet. But they're going, what, 45 miles an hour when the boat's going 45 miles an hour. And to watch them jump, it's pretty spectacular. A beginner jumper will just come off and kind of ride over almost like they're sitting in a chair and then land. But when you get into the open division...
By land, you mean crash?
No, they land on their feet, and you have to ski away to score the jump. I mean, that's, you know...
You said a beginner, so I'm thinking...
Yeah, so but, you know, and then they ski away. But then when you get into the open division, the guys that go the world champions, that when they come off the ramp, they actually dive forward. So they're flying through the air basically like Superman. And then before they land, they come back and land on their feet. It's spectacular.
Do you do the jumps?
I don't do the jump, no.
Okay, but you do the barefoot?
Yes, the tricks and slalom.
Okay. Were you already involved with that? Because I heard Hank mention your husband is a world record holder and
Champ, he's like.
So
the
did you
Mac
know him
Daddy.
before, or did you meet him in the sport? Like, did you do this?
I met him through water skiing, but I
Okay.
grew up a show skier. So I was show skiing in Wisconsin in the
Okay.
summertime, and then he came there and he does clinics during the summer. So he comes to different areas and trains people.
So is this more intense, if you will, than the show skiing, or which one? I mean, it seems like to me, as someone who doesn't know, that this would be harder.
It is harder in the aspect of it's very technical and it's one thing. But I mean, show skiing is kind of all generalized. You do a little bit of everything. There is barefoot in show skiing, so.
Okay, yeah, because I remember the old
Yeah.
Cypress Gardens
Yeah,
ski show where they
they've
go
got
all the way
bear-
around.
And they've got the guy that's on the shore and wanting to get your autograph, and you go to give him the autograph, and the boat
Takes
takes
off,
off, and he barefoots. And then you have your guys that in the shows, they'll jump off the dock and barefoot, and they do just an array of different, barefoot maneuvers in a ski show. And that's actually where barefoot really, I think, got its hold at the beginning, was doing it and then doing it in the shows, and Cypress Gardens, really, I think, promoted that.
Building the brand.
With Dick Pope being one of the first two barefoot and bring it to, Cypress Gardens, and how thrilling it was. And as the sport evolved, like all the disciplines, you kind of did everything back in the day. You belonged to a ski club, you competed, you got in the ski show, you learned to fly the kite, you learned to barefoot, you learned to do all of these different disciplines. And then as the sport evolved, everybody started to separate, because you couldn't be the best slalom skier in the world if you were show skiing, and then you had some guy slalom skiing all the time getting better, and you couldn't be the best barefooter in the world if you're just doing it in shows, and you've got the guys that are training over on a lake. So as the sport has evolved in water skiing, all the different disciplines have kind of got their own spot in the sport.
Right.
But then again, everybody that participates in any form of water skiing, we all still hang out together. So.
Lauren, how do people qualify for nationals? Because I see to be eligible to win overall titles, you have to be in multiple events, but how do they qualify to get in the national event itself?
So to be in the national event, back in the day when we had tons of people barefooting, you had to qualify. There was a certain score. Now you just have to have a positive score at our regional tournament. So we actually just had our regional tournament last weekend at Lake Grew, and then so our nationals is in July.
Great. And what are some of the ages of individuals competing? Is it young people all the way up to like Hank, or is it?
And older than Hank.
You know what? To be honest, they're way
Just
older
kidding.
than Hank. We have a guy who is in his upper 80s. I'm not sure his exact age. I want to say 88.
That's terrific.
And we're not like saying like a couple years older than
Very
Hank.
close to ages, Hank's age. Yeah, I got that.
And then we have some kids. I think this year probably the youngest one is about 10 years old.
Wow, that's great.
So,
That's great. And like you said, the event's free, 26th to the 29th in Polk City. Hank or Lauren, if somebody's trying to find this, of course we live in the age of phones, but if somebody's trying to find out, where exactly is the lake?
Well, the lake is in Polk City. It's off of I-4, so the best way to get to it is exit 44. The same exit as Fantasia Flight, so instead of when you get off and you're going to Fantasia Flight, when you get to the blinking light, instead of taking a left to go to Fantasia Flight, you take a right, and that brings you down to Lake Grew, which is now a part of Action Sports Mastercraft dealership, because the
old
the
USA
old
Water
USA
Ski and
Water
Hall of
Ski
Fame
building that used to be blue is now painted a really neat kind of light gray, and looks fantastic. And there'll be signage there as you come down, but you just exit 44, and if you're coming up 559 from Auburndale, you just still same way. When you get to the blinking light, just take a right instead of a left.
All right. Is there a website, Lauren, that people need to check out, or where can they get more information?
Barefoot.org has lots of information on it, and then just if you find us on Facebook, the Southern Region Barefooters, we have all kinds of info on there.
And then you could also go to usawaterski.org, and they've got all the disciplines and information on all the sports there. So, you can go
Well,
to
that's
that as
fantastic. Lauren, thanks so much. We look forward to the Barefoot Nationals right here in Polk County. We appreciate what you are doing to bring that event to Polk County and make it a success.
Thank you.
All right. Well, the Athlete Spotlight is one of the best parts of this show, and we're going to take a look at the footage that we have from a cheerleader from George Jenkins High School. Stick around. Hank and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central.
I started cheerleading last year, like in the middle of last year. Well, the competitive season, middle of last year, and I started high school last year. It always seemed like it was always something that kind of interested me, so then I just went for it. I always liked watching it, and I thought, why not give it a try? Tumbling and stunting, tumbling is not easy to learn. You would think it'd be easy just to throw yourself backwards and flip, but you have to there's a lot of technique that goes into it and that type of thing. And stunning, actually having to pick people up and throw them around is not as easy as you think it would seem. Sometimes you get really frustrated and you just have to think you gotta keep going and keep a positive attitude and just don't let your attitude affect others, just keep going and keep positive. We find stuff on Instagram that we find might be cool, or YouTube videos or stuff they've done in the past. It's just, you get inspiration from everywhere pretty much nowadays. You can go on YouTube, Instagram, there's stuff all over the place. So we just find stuff that we think is cool, try it out, and if it works, and it looks cool on the floor. So all of our coaches, not just Coach Debbie, but all of them are just so helpful, and they always have they always want to help you. They're always there for you whenever you need something. They have great attitude, so it's just having another mom or just another family member with you all the time. They're just always there for you. You can always count on them to pick you up, give you a ride, get you food, something, whatever you need, they're there. We're just one big happy family. We like to go out to eat together and go to pool parties together and spend weekends together. We like to go shopping. Just a big family. You're never alone at school or anything. You always have friends to sit with at lunch. You're just one big happy family. Well, we start at 3:30 and we start stretching and changing clothes and warming up. And after we stretch, we go through tumbling. We always warm up tumbling, because if you don't warm it up, and a lot of people just won't throw it. So you gotta warm it up. And then we'll warm up stunts, or depending if it's a pep rally week, we'll go through pep rally. Or if it's a game day week, but we don't have a pep rally, we'll go through game day cheers. So it just depends on what we have planned for that week. Some days I go from school, waking up at 6 o'clock for school, going to school, getting out at 2, starting practice at 2:30, ending at 4:30, and then I coach from 5 to 6:30 at Central Florida Athletics, and then I have practice from 6:30 to 9. So you just have to find those spaces in between, in the car ride on the way to Central Florida Athletics. I do some of my homework. When I'm waiting for the first 30 minutes before we practice from 2 to 2:30, I do some homework. So you just gotta fit it in where you get it in and get home, study, do all of that, take care of school. I found that there were more opportunities in cheer, more scholarships offered, and it was an easier way to get scholarships, more opportunities, yes. You always have to have perseverance. You always have to be able to keep pushing. There's just a lot that goes into it. You always have to have a good attitude, that's for sure. You always have to have a smile on your face, look presentable. You're a role model for the school, and you represent your school, and you always want to represent in the best way possible. So the best personal qualities you can have, you need them. I think about the rewards that could come from the sport, looking into the future like the scholarships I could get into the schooling, and then once the schooling, like I have the schooling, I can become whatever I want to become. And so then my life is pretty much set. If I do what I love to do and it helps me get somewhere, then why not?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo in our fourth and final segment, brought to us by Abuelos, and I tell you what, they got great food.
They have great food, and you know, it's been a great show so far. And now we get to the fourth segment where we get to tell you about all the other neat things going on here in Polk County.
Yeah, some great events coming up here. Freedom Sports Co-Ed Tournament, that'll be coming up. That's at Walker Road Softball Complex. Freedom Sports brings plenty of co-ed teams to Florida and for slow pitch softball. So not the fast pitch, but the slow pitch, more of your speed.
More of my speed, yeah. And then we have the Polk County Blast and State Cup Finals. We're going to do that at Lake Myrtle Sports Park, and just another part of soccer going on, you know, that's fantastic here in the county. And we got soccer all over the place besides, you know, the Tropics that we just got to chat with Andrew about. You know, it's the Florida Youth Soccer Association.
Yeah, and this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, we're supposed to have some more soccer, as you mentioned, at Lake Myrtle, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. I know there's a little bit of a rainmaker out there in the Gulf, and hopefully it doesn't cause too bad of flooding. But we want to remind everybody to get ready, not just for this storm, but as we head into June 1st and the hurricane season here. Of course, the state of Florida and Polk County were pushed to their limits last year, but the best way to fend off or to get is be prepared. Yeah, absolutely. And we want to remind everybody that a lot of people come into Polk County, so have that plan ready, but hopefully we won't have to worry about that. But a soccer event, the 6th Annual Memorial Day Weekend Classic at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park. We talked about State Cup U19 finals coming up as well. And don't forget, Olympic development training happens out there all the time. So not only is USA Water Ski moving their headquarters out to Lake Myrtle in water skiing, but we've for years now been having the Olympic development training for the state of Florida and Florida Youth Soccer.
It's just amazing how soccer has grown here in Central Florida, and that we've been able to be such a big part of that development.
Sure.
and help it continue to grow. Big event coming up that we look forward to every year, that I know is probably your biggest event of the year for having to organize, manage, put together the whole 9 yards, and that's
I'm only in charge of it if it's successful. If it's not successful, it was somebody else running the show.
Yeah, well, Hank took over this year.
But June 12th.
Sports Awards.
Yeah. Polk County All Sports Awards and Hall of Fame induction ceremony will be June 12th at the RP Funding Center. Doors open at 5:45. Event starts at 6:15. This is a ticketed event. So it's $35, only $35, but you do have to have a ticket, so you can call 863-551-4750 if you're interested in getting a ticket. And this year, inducting 8 new members to the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame. It's a larger class than we're used to, but every one of them deserving, and looking forward to the induction ceremony.
Do you get to share with the folks who those people are yet, or do we wait for the big news blast?
He's going to try to test my memory,
yeah. Well, now I probably should have brought that up.
Yeah,
if
you
we're
should have
dealing
brought
with
that
your
up.
memory there.
No, we will certainly, and I think in one of the upcoming Sports Central, we're actually, I think it's going to be a 2-part thing. We're going to show the Hall of Fame induction ceremony as part of one of our Sports Central episodes, and then the All Sports Awards. And the neat thing about it, Hank, is the fact that just last week we brought the committee together, and they were voting, and there was categories they were having to wait on because of the success of teams in Polk County. You have still George Jenkins High School baseball team. They're going to the Class 8A state semifinals in baseball. You had Lake Wales this past week in Class 6A. Their softball team was in the state Final Four, state semifinals. Unfortunately, they came up short in that contest to the eventual state champion, American Heritage. But you look at Florida Southern's men's golf team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they lost in the semifinals of match play yesterday as they were vying for a repeat national championship. But John Vanderlyn
won the national championship. He won it last year
as
too.
an individual.
Yeah.
You have Florida Southern baseball. They just won the South Region tournament, so they're going to the NCAA Division II national championships next week. I believe that's in Cary, North Carolina. You have Southeastern University baseball team for the first time ever going to the NAIA World Series. So it's unbelievable. My point is, it's unbelievable the amount of talent that comes out of Polk County, whether it's amateur, the preps, the colleges, up into professionals.
Pros. So if you've never been to an All Sports Award banquet, Neal, tell him, kind of go, the reason he's bringing up all these teams and letting you know that they're still in competition is that the awards are given to best high school teams, players, coaches, and the different levels that they're playing. You've got your college athletes that are going to get recognized.
So you have the Circle of Champions, which we put in, 4, 5, 6 years ago, which honors all championship teams, whether it be high school, collegiate, or one of our professional teams. So there's categories in all these sports. So you may have multiple teams win a championship, but there's only one team of the year. So this gives us an opportunity to honor all championship teams in the high school or collegiate or professional categories. You have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which is towards the end of the event, but you also have the Ledger Coaches and Athletes of the Year, whether that's the fall, the winter, or the spring sports. So those are coaches and athletes that have been selected as their, the athlete, special players and coaches. And then you have the All Sports Awards, which is Professional Athlete of the Year, which this year is Tiffany Hayes of the WNBA. So pretty excited for Tiffany, her winning that award. She was an all-star in the WNBA. Of course, she's out of Winter Haven, that dynasty that they have over there. You also have Collegiate Male and Female Team of the Year, Male and Female Prep Team of the Year, Male Athlete of the Year, Prep, so it goes on and on. Again, June 12th, RP Funding Center, the Polk County All Sports Awards and Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Again, tickets are $35, and you do need to have a ticket for that event. Give us a call at 863-551-4750.
And we all get dressed up. It's kind of like the Academy Awards of sports.
It's the ESPYs of Polk County, right?
There you go, the ESPYs of Polk County.
We see on the screen the Flying Tigers, their upcoming home schedule. You definitely want to check that out at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium. Again, we talk about professional sports and their value here in Polk County. You don't have to leave Polk County to see professional athletes, and the great thing about it, it's family friendly and it's affordable, so you definitely want to check that out.
Alrighty, well, a couple of quick things here before we're getting ready to wrap it up here in just a couple of minutes. The Lakeland Regional Health is going to take place Saturday, June 16th. And
it's actually free sports physicals.
It's free sports physicals, June 16th and June 23rd at Grasslands campus. So you might want to take advantage of that. And then the Miss Florida pageant coming up.
Yeah, coming back to Polk County yet again. That's Monday, June 25th through Saturday, June 30th, and ticket prices really vary from $15 to $85, and it depends on the night you go, whether it's one of the qualifiers or one of the different contests, up to a little bit of a higher ticket. But I'm telling you what, if you go to that night where Miss Florida is elected or selected, it is truly a show. It is almost like a Broadway show that they put on. But you can go to missflorida.org for more information, or of course you can go to the box office there at the RP Funding Center.
And want to turn you on to the Florida Tarpons home schedule. The Tarpons are entering their 7th season here in arena football, which will begin
first in Lakeland
during the
first
spring
season
here.
in Lakeland, 7th in the league. Absolutely, May 26th at 7:30 p.m. versus the Upstate Dragons. So you want to check that out. We got some people we want to thank.
Definitely. Can't do this without the support of our sponsors. Harry's Old Place, Hampton Inn, Bartow, the Country Club of Winter Haven, Jaycen, Lakeland, and the Trophy Shop. Thank you all so much for your support.
Absolutely. We want to thank them. And if you want to catch more information about what's going on here in Central Florida's Polk County, go to centralfloridasports.com or visit centralflorida.org. The next live edition of Sports Central will come to you Friday, June 8th. And of course, you can check out the radio version of Sports Central on Talk 96.7 and Talk 1430 WLKF every Tuesday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. as well as every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. So great show. It always flies by so quickly.
Wonderful.
Any final comments, Hank, before we go?
Nope, just have a wonderful Memorial Day. No, wait, Labor Day.
No, Memorial Day.
It's Memorial Day. It's May.
I know the calendar's
fine.
going by quickly, but we're not quite to September, so.
Well, you know what I mean. Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy.
All right, everybody. For Hank Longo, I'm Neal Duncan. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out all the programming right here on PGTV. They do a great job. For Hank, this is Neal. We'll see you again next time.